This segment sponsored by Foster Financial. Welcome to Women's Wealth Wednesday, where we give you financial advice, but for women. And joining me today is Caleb Doane, the Vice President of Foster Financial. Good morning, Caleb.
Good morning.
How's it going?
It's going well. How are you doing?
Good. Okay, so tell me, what will we be talking about today?
Yeah, so we're going to talk about kind of another thing that people have to think about before tax time here, and that's contributing to a Roth IRA.
Okay.
So people have until the tax deadline to contribute to a Roth IRA, and oftentimes a lot of people have heard of Roth IRAs. They know that they have the ability to contribute to it. But for a little refresher, this is Roth IRA, stands for Individual Retirement Account, and this would be outside of your employer plan. So it's not inside something like a 401k. This is something you would either open up yourself or open up with your financial advisor. And one of the requirements for these types of accounts is that you have to have earned income to be able to contribute to it. So if you're fully retired and you're not working, the government says, hey, you're not allowed to contribute to this account anymore. You have to have earned income to be able to do that, either from a W-2 job, or maybe you're self-employed or 1099 contract work. One of the questions we get, though, is, hey, what if I work and my wife stays at home with the kids? She doesn't have any earned income. There's a nice benefit there. They kind of call it the spousal Roth IRA option. You get to use your spouse's earned income in order to allow you to contribute to a Roth IRA. So even if you don't work, if your spouse does, then you have the ability to contribute.
Okay, gotcha. And just for clarity, with this earned income, people at retirement age could be receiving Social Security, they could have pension withdrawals, and so those things may feel earned, right? Because they've earned them over the years, but that is what you mean. Those things you cannot put into that type of account. And so why would someone want to gravitate towards a Roth IRA over a traditional or over just a money market account?
Yeah, so the Roth IRA has some nice tax benefits. When you contribute to the account, you contribute with after-tax dollars into the Roth account. But then, as long as certain qualifications are met, it grows completely tax-free, and it eventually comes out completely tax-free. So it's a very tax-advantaged account. With 401ks, people are used to contributing pre-tax. So they contribute into the account. You don't have to pay taxes on the money that goes in, but then that money grows. When it comes out, all of a sudden the government has their hand out and says, hey, you need to pay the taxes now. The Roth is a nice option because it doesn't have that same tax implication when you go to pull it out. You've already paid the taxes on it. Therefore, later on in retirement, if there's ever a really big expense that pops up and you don't want to owe a ton in taxes that year, we get to take a portion of it from the Roth account.
The Roth, okay, that's good. So 401k, you're putting in money. You go from $1,000, let's say it grew to $10,000. You're paying tax on that $10,000. But in a Roth, you put in $1,000, you get out $10,000, no taxes.
No taxes.
All right, we love that. Okay, so who qualifies for an account like this? I know that you say that it has to be earned income, but are there any other qualifiers?
Yep. So you have to have earned income. You also have to have an income below a certain threshold. So the government basically says, hey, this is such a tax-advantaged account, we're going to limit the people who are even allowed to contribute to it. So they raise that limit every single year. I think now for a couple married filing jointly, it's like $236,000.
Max?
Yeah, that's the max that you can make. If you make more than that, they start to reduce the amount that you can put in. And I think if it's over $246,000, they say you can't contribute at all directly to a Roth. There are some workarounds to this, though. So even if you're over that threshold, there are some ways that we can still contribute to a Roth account. We can do it inside a 401k, or there are even what they call backdoor Roth contributions, which almost sounds a little shady when you hear backdoor Roth.
In the backdoor Roth.
right, exactly. But fully above board, IRS, everyone's approved it, says yes, this is okay. So that's one of the things that we use for some of those higher income clients.
Okay, which is good. I mean, I think limitations is good because, of course, they say the more money you have, the more money you make. So the fact that this is an opportunity for people who are not above that really high threshold. Okay, and then what about the contribution deadline? Because you said it's coming up and it has to do with tax season. So when specifically is that?
Yeah, it'd be the tax filing deadline.
Okay,
so you have to April 15th. So you have to have these in before you file your taxes. For 2024, of course, you can contribute for the 2025 year all the way up until tax time for next year. But this is one of the things where if somebody hasn't maxed it out for the year yet and they have the ability to, oftentimes we'll recommend that they do that. Everyone's situation is a little bit different, but especially when somebody has some extra money, maybe in checking or savings, especially if they're on the younger side, it can be a really good idea to contribute to this type of account to grow tax-free.
Now, one final thing is the lock-in, the commitment of the Roth. Okay, so once you contribute to it, is it challenging to get withdrawals from it?
The nice thing about the Roth is it's a lot more flexible than something like a traditional IRA. Yeah, so the Roth account, since you're contributing to it with after-tax dollars, you could later go in and pull out your contributions without any sort of penalty and without paying taxes on it. So if you put in, $7,000, which is the max for 2024 and 2025, if you're 50 or older, it's $8,000. But if you put in that, let's say $7,000 this year, it grows to 10 grand over the course of a few years, you could theoretically go back and pull out your contributions of that $7,000 without any penalty. The growth, however, that extra 3 grand that it kind of grew inside the market when it was within the Roth, that's a little bit more tricky to get out. There still are some ways that you can get it out for certain circumstances, but generally speaking, people can't take that out until 59 and a half.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Caleb.
Yeah.
I don't know how you remember all these numbers.
So many, yeah, there's a lot.
Age ranges, oh my goodness. Well, that's why we call you the expert. And if you would like more information about Foster Financial, we'll have their phone number listed below. You can contact them for a complimentary consultation, and I'll see you after the break. This segment sponsored by Foster Financial.